What's up, all you serious people? PSP here, I'm Caitlin, and it's time to get serious. Today I'm going to be watching the new trailer that came out on April Fool's Day, which had me suspicious that it was going to be a fake trailer, but to my gleeful surprise, it is a real trailer for Train to Busan 2. It's called Peninsula. It's supposed to be coming out this year. I don't know if it will, given everything that's going down, but it's a sequel, apparently, to the first one, which came out in 2016. It's a Korean film, and I loved that movie, so I'm very excited to see what this movie is going to be all about. I'm really excited to see this trailer, so let's just dive right in, guys.
많이 무서웠죠?
Yes! Oh, I want to watch it right now. I am so excited to see this movie. Like, oh my goodness. So this is supposed to take place 4 years after the first movie came out, and it looks like it's a whole new batch of characters. I didn't see anybody from the original cast. This is definitely showing that like everything went to shit. Like the abandoned mall or turned into like a gladiator arena type of scene where they have like survivors that are being attacked by, you know, zombies coming out, and it's just crazy like where civilization went after basically like the apocalypse. It kind of reminds me a little bit of The Walking Dead. If you guys watched The Walking Dead or read the comic books, you'll know that Negan was sort of a bad guy in the comics, and he sort of created similar things like this. I remember in the comics there was a sort of like arena type thing going on with zombies coming out, and they do that in a lot of zombie films, but I love the first one so much. I'm so glad that they're keeping the same director from the first movie to this one. And I guess this isn't technically a sequel because they sort of like finished up the story in the first movie, and this is a whole different set of characters and plot line. It looks like it's sort of like a soldier dude sort of escaping and going to this like peninsula thing and fighting survivors along the way and getting wrapped up in everything going on. I guess a sequel is what they're calling it, or maybe they're not, I don't know. But it doesn't seem like it's really a sequel, more just like a different chapter, like a spin-off, but in the future. So I guess it's technically a sequel, but not to the main cast. So I don't know how you want to argue the vocabulary there, but I'm excited. The director is a genius, and his first film was seriously a masterpiece. And I have no doubt that this film is going to be as good, hopefully, as the first movie, because the first movie is going to be really hard to beat because it was literally a masterpiece. If you haven't seen the first one, The Train to Busan, I really highly suggest that you go over to Netflix like right now and watch it because it is so amazing. Like, it's different than your typical general zombie flick in so many ways. Zombie movies typically don't really pay a whole lot of attention to their characters. They typically contain like your atypical like post-apocalyptic character or like flash in the pan personalities. But Train to Busan had like such memorable characters and such a strong message in the film. I really dove deep into the first movie, and I actually rewatched it before watching this trailer just to remind myself of how beautiful it actually was, and the message is still super clear from how I remember it. Their basic overall like topic is human nature and ambition, I guess, to sort of climb the ladder and succeed in life and be successful by how much money you make and working, and sort of divided by social classes, which are really symbolic in the film. The whole thing takes place on a train mostly. Each car sort of symbolically represents the separation between the characters, and they're trying to sort of like climb through and meet their loved ones. By the way, spoilers coming up while I talk about why I love the first movie. So if you haven't seen it, turn it off, come back after you've watched it. Some of the cars are like safe and protected, sort of representing like the rich people, and then the ones that are more dangerous and unprotected represent the poor part of society, and they're trying to climb and get into the safe car, and the safe car wants to keep them out. So the danger cars sort of try to struggle just to survive. And the antagonist in the first movie definitely was more scary than the zombies, and just kind of represented what could bring out the worst in people in times of crisis, and wanted to keep his safe car separate from people from the danger cars even though they weren't infected. And it just really represents that gap between like the rich and the poor in society. And the characters are really united in their struggle to sort of survive and keep each other, like they really have a sense of equality. They try to save one another, and they're looking out for everybody instead of just themselves, which is a huge arc that the main character takes, the father of the little girl. And the little girl's super disappointed in her dad all the time because he just cares about himself, and she's constantly trying to worry about other people and trying to like show her dad of how disappointed in him she is with that. And his whole arc is him changing and sacrificing himself. Another thing that I really loved about this movie that I think sort of separates it from normal, typical, general zombie movies is the acting. I think typically the acting is sort of overlooked in zombie movies, and the focus is usually on the action or the horror aspect, but this one really took time to focus on the acting and the characters. I'm not saying that like zombie movies need to have like Oscar-worthy performances, but I really do think that this one did. And I'm talking generally here. I'm not saying every zombie film ever made had horrible acting. I know that there are plenty of zombie films that had great acting. 28 Days Later is a great example of that. And even World War Z, I think Brad Pitt was awesome in that. I'm speaking in a general sense here. So before you comment and are like, blah, 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 there's so many good zombie films with good acting, like I'm speaking in a general sense. Usually horror in general sort of focuses more on the action and the horror aspect rather than the acting. That's why they typically cast B-list actors. I think the focus is usually put on the special effects and the scares, because when you're going to watch a horror movie, you're not really expecting great acting, you're there to get scared. And the little girl, the daughter of the main character in the first one of Train to Busan, was so good. I cried throughout the entire movie. Her performance is literally Oscar worthy. And like, I think that a lot of child actors can sort of pull you out of your immersion or your experience with the film because of their lack of experience. And she just like made it feel so much more real, which is probably why I got so emotional while watching the movie. She was better than most of the adult actors, I think, in the film, and most of the adult actors were amazing as well. And I love how in the very end of the movie, the song that the little girl was supposed to be singing to her father but couldn't finish, she's literally finishing it in the tunnel after she's just watched her father sacrifice himself, and she's finishing the song because at the beginning of the movie he said always finish whatever you start, and she finishes it while sobbing, walking to salvation at the end of the movie, and it's just like full circle, brings it all home. Like it's set, and that end shot just on her face, like, oh my god, it's so powerful. And she really she carried that performance so well. Like I don't think it would have read as well had the acting not been as good as it was. And just the fact that the first movie was just all set on a train really added to a terrifying setting for the whole film. The claustrophobic feeling that you get while watching these characters trapped in a train surrounded by zombies that are actually very, very fast and terrifying is horrific. And the director actually shot at an aspect ratio of 185 instead of widescreen for the first movie, which made it feel even more claustrophobic. So I thought that was really smart to sort of help the audience really feel what the characters are feeling. And to me, the zombies were scarier than most other zombie movie zombies. I know that 28 Days Later had similar zombies, as well as World War Z, which were also terrifying. It wasn't in a confined space though, so I feel like the train really adds a sense of horror to it. But I love the fact that these zombies are terrifying because they can run at full speed, like the zombies at 28 Days Later in World War Z. They sort of form masses as they're all like running towards each other or running towards their prey, and they run into each other and form sort of like clusters and clumps that they just start like climbing over each other. So that's very similar to World War Z, and I think that's a super cool aspect because I feel like that's really what would happen if there was a zombie apocalypse. I think the zombies would do that. Another really cool thing that they added was that the zombies can't see in the dark. They need light to see you or hear, and then if they're in the dark they can still hear you, but if you're quiet you can sort of sneak around them, and that adds for some really suspenseful scenes in the movie that I think they're going to use again in the second movie, and I'm really excited for that because I think that adds a really creepy aspect to zombies. I'm really glad that they are doing different characters for the second movie because they wrapped up the first movie so beautifully and really told that storyline and those characters. They had a very clear ending to it, and I think if they were to bring them back in the second movie, it might ruin that for me. So I'm excited that they're bringing in a whole new batch of characters 4 years later and a whole new storyline so that it can be different and leave the first movie as beautiful as it was. It needs to be untouchable. And also there's nothing really to add to the first one. Like the story ended, and it ended in a really good way, and there's nothing I think that should be added to that. I think the second movie is going to have a similar theme to the first one about human nature and instinct and survival, and we're really going to see like the ugliness brought out from people and also the best brought out from people like we did in the first one. I don't know if you guys knew, but there's actually an animated movie like prequel to the first Train to Busan movie by the same director, and it's called Soul Station, and I'm gonna watch it because I just found out about that today, and I'm just wondering how many of you out there have heard of that or seen it and if it's worth watching or not. I know this video is a lot longer than most of our reactions. I just really love zombie films, and I really love good zombie films, and it's been a while since I've seen a really good zombie film, and this one it's like more of a drama than even a horror, I would argue, because of just the story and the characters and everything going on. It so focuses on the relationship of the father-daughter and then what the other characters do. So I'm really stoked about this new movie, and I was really stoked about the old movie, and I think it's literally one of the best zombie films out there, and that's saying a lot because I am obsessed with zombies. I love zombie video games, zombie comic books, zombie TV shows, zombie movies, zombie. I used to have a license plate that said would rather be killing zombies. So that's why I made this video a little bit longer, because I'm so stoked and excited about this movie, and I hope you guys are too. Let me know in the comments down below what you think of Train to Busan 2 or Peninsula. They're going by both titles, and it looks like it's supposed to release in France in August, I think, or sometime this year, so I really hope that it comes out on demand. I know they can't really do a theatrical release, or maybe they can later this year. Either way, it could not come soon enough for me, and I hope you guys are excited too. Make sure to give this video a big like if you like zombies and you like watching this channel. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button. We are trying to hit 10,000 subscribers. That is our goal. That has been our goal for a while. We recently just hit 7K, and that is thanks to all of you subscribers. Everyone who has already subscribed, thank you so much, because you are literally taking the channel to its huge goal of 10,000 subscribers. And if you haven't subscribed, please do hit that subscribe button. It will help us more than you could ever know. And if you would like to help out the channel even further, you can become a patron over on patreon.com/perfectlyserious. For as little as $1 a month, you can get shout outs in every single reaction video we do, plus an exclusive sneak peek of every single reaction video before it's posted live on YouTube. So you can be the first to leave a comment, to watch the reactions. You get the unlisted link before it's public on YouTube. So that's a little perk, and the reward tiers go up from there. You can choose what we react to. You can get access to our behind the scenes feed on Patreon, where we post blooper reels and behind the scene clips and photos. And we also have a specific tier for exclusive reactions only for Patreon, so we don't even post them anywhere else. It's only on there. Check it out down below, guys. I'll post a link in the description. And I would like to thank our existing patrons. So thank you very much to Bradley, David C, David S, Esteban, Jane, Kevin, PKFresh. We have an unknown, which I think is Nina. Let me know. and Vicki and Warren P. Thank you guys so much for supporting the channel and for getting serious with us, being part of the serious family. You guys keep us afloat, and it is so important that we have you guys, and we appreciate you guys so much. So thank you, thank you, thank you from the bottom of our hearts. And I hope everybody is staying safe out there and social distancing and staying healthy and not going too crazy in quarantine. I know I'm going a little bit nuts, but I'm doing what I can to do my part. And I hope you all are doing it as well. And stay safe and stay serious, guys. I'll see you next time. Bye.